$100 in your bank account or $100,000. The difference is in how you think, not in what you earn. I am Duchess Dollars, and if you are tired of living counting every dollar as if it were your last, pay attention. I am 35 years old with a face of 20, and I know exactly why you still do not have that private jet to cry your luxury tears. Mr. Millionaire always tells me, Duchess, people are not poor, they just think poor. And you know, between AE, dive in our gold pool, and my 5 o'clock tea with Swarovski crystals, I realized he is right. The problem nowadays is that everybody wants to be rich, but nobody wants to do what the rich do. They go to TikTok to learn dancing when they should be learning about assets. They dream about an iPhone while I dream about the next building I will buy in Manhattan. While you are worrying about the payment for your economy car, I am deciding which country to visit on my next extended weekend. And it is not because I was born rich. Although, of course, that would have made my life much easier. What differentiates me from you is that I stopped thinking like a poor person and started thinking like a millionaire long before I had my first million. And my little dog Chanel agrees with me. Even she knows it is better to drink water from a silver bowl than champagne from a plastic cup. Today, I will share 27 tips that will transform your mindset from how do I pay my bills to where do I park my third yacht. If you want to change the game, subscribe to the channel, click like, activate the bell, and let us go. Because being rich is not only for those who are born rich, but it is much easier, right? The tips that will take you from a rented apartment to your own penthouse. 1. Stop thinking small. While you are saving to buy a cheap pair of shoes, I am buying the entire store. The difference? Mindset. Think big. If you dream of having $10,000, why not $10 million? Your brain is like a GPS. If you program the destination as mediocre, that is exactly where you will arrive. Do you know what your problem is, darlings? You limit your dreams. I want a stable job. I want to pay my bills on time. I want my own house. This is the minimum. It is like saying your goal in life is to breathe. Of course you want to breathe, but what next? Where is your yacht? Your bag collection? Your empire? Naval Ravikant, a Silicon Valley billionaire, almost as rich as my husband, says, seek wealth, not money or status. And he is right. Wealth is having freedom. It is waking up and thinking, what do I want to do today? And not, what do I have to do today? It is the difference between obligation and choice. 2. Understand that wealth is not money. Poor people chase after salary. Rich people build assets. You need to create things that generate money while you sleep, like my husband, who does not even need to be awake to become richer. Assets, darling, not overtime. Let me explain to you in simple terms for your limited budget brain. Money is just the side effect of assets. Your car? That is a liability. It only drains your money. My private jet? It is also a liability, but I have enough assets to afford several private jets. What are assets? They are things that work for you when you are too busy shopping or drinking champagne. Real estate that generates rent, businesses that function without you, investments that grow on their own, royalties from a book, or, as in my case, a millionaire. Husband, he is also an asset which generates many other assets. 3. Stop mixing with poor people. The energy is different, darling. When was the last time your tight budget friend gave you an investment tip that changed your life? Never, because he is too busy complaining about the price of gas. Frequent places where money circulates, golf clubs, polo events, or, at minimum, the restaurant of that 5-star hotel. Order a small coffee and observe the millionaires. I do not mix with poor people. The energy is different. This is not arrogance, it is quantum physics applied to finances. You are the average of the 5 people with whom you spend the most time. If these 5 people are always complaining about money, guess what will dominate your thoughts? Have you noticed that rich people do not talk about money all the time? They talk about opportunities, ideas, expansion. Poor people talk about bills, problems, how the world is unfair. Rich people talk about solutions, growth, how the world is full of possibilities. Where can you find rich people? Golf clubs, polo tournaments, expensive hotel restaurants. Order a coffee and stay there observing. Art openings, charity auctions, and of course, in first class on airplanes. Do you think your Prince Charming will find you at the bus stop? Please. 4. Invest in yourself. Rich people work with glamour, poor people work with sweat. Every dollar you spend on education, appearance, and connections is an investment in your rich future. While other women are asking for enough to pay the bills, I am asking for enough to buy the company that issues the bills. Have you heard that story that You have to spend money to make money. Well, it is true. But it is not just any expense, darling. It is strategic investment. When you invest in yourself, you are buying shares in the most important company in the world. You Inc. My personal stylist costs a fortune, but each look he creates for me opens doors to new connections. My international etiquette course taught me how to behave at dinners with the global elite. My coaching sessions with CEOs gave me the confidence to speak as an equal with any billionaire. Working is not for everyone, darling. It is for those who did not know how to invest in themselves. I work, of course, but I do it with glamour, not with sweat. The difference is in the previous investment. 5. Learn to sell. If you do not know how to sell, you will not get rich. Period. It does not matter if it is your image, your product, or your idea. Everything in life is selling. I did not choose a husband just for his money, but it helped. It helped a lot. Life is a big negotiation. From convincing your parents to let you stay up late as a child, to getting that apartment with a discount, or making your boss give you a raise. Everything is selling. I sell my lifestyle every day on social media. I sell my presence when I enter a restaurant. I sold the idea to Mr. Millionaire that I would be the perfect wife. And guess what? He bought it, and he is satisfied with the acquisition. Learn to sell your value. If you cannot convince others that it is worth investing in you, how do you expect anyone to do it? As my rich grandmother used to say, if you do not value what you have to offer, no one else will. 6. Develop your specific knowledge. Everyone can learn to make a spreadsheet in Excel, darling, but not everyone can do what you do uniquely. Find what you do better than most and turn it into your gold mine. Specific knowledge cannot be outsourced or automated. Specific knowledge is that which cannot be easily taught. It is what comes from the unique intersection of your talents, interests, and experiences. In my case, it is my ability to transform any social situation into a networking opportunity, my eye for art investments, and my ability to make any rich man feel like the center of the universe for exactly 3 minutes, enough time to spark interest. What do you have that no one else has? Is it your unique voice, your aesthetic sense, your intuition for trends, your ability to explain complex concepts simply? Find it and amplify it. And remember, specific knowledge does not come from school. It comes from practice, experimentation, curiosity. School can teach you formulas, but it cannot teach you to have that je ne sais quoi that makes others want what you have. 7. Stop trying to save, start earning more. Putting water in shampoo is something done by people who date poor men. While you are cutting out coffee, I am buying the coffee shop. The problem is not how much you spend, it is how much you earn. Earn more and stop living this life of scarcity. So many people out there talking about minimalism, about living with less, about saving. How sad. Saving is admitting that you cannot earn more. It is accepting that your potential has a low ceiling, like that one-bedroom apartment you share with 2 friends. If you want to learn to be economical, date a poor person. He will teach you. He will make you put water in shampoo, and that shampoo is 2 in 1. He will convince you that dining at home watching Netflix is romantic, when in reality it is just cheap. He will explain to you why a used car has more personality than a new one. I am not saying you should be irresponsible with money. I am saying that energy directed at saving $5 here and $10 there could be better used to find ways to earn $500 or $1,000 more per month. 8. Use the internet to your advantage. The digital world is the greatest equalizer of opportunities that has ever existed. If you are not using the internet to create wealth, you are like someone who has a private plane and goes by bus. Create content, automate, scale. The internet has exponentially expanded the potential growth space of careers, but most people have not realized this yet. They use the internet to scroll through feeds and watch videos of kittens when they could be building a digital empire. Do you know what is fascinating about the internet? It works 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. While you sleep, someone on the other side of the world could be discovering your work, buying your product, or falling in love with your brand. It is like having an army of salespeople working for you nonstop. I have videos being watched right now while I am talking to you. I have ads being clicked. I have products being purchased. And do you know where I am? Here, recording more content, creating more digital assets that will work for me for the next few years. That is what rich people do. 9. Have strategic patience. Wealth is like good wine or a quality cosmetic procedure. It takes time. Returns come from compound interest, whether in investments, knowledge, or relationships. Those who want to get rich overnight end up poor or selling courses to fools. All returns in life, whether in wealth, relationships, or knowledge, come from compound interest. This means that at the beginning, it seems like nothing is happening. You invest, work, build, and the results are minimal. But if you persist, at some point the curve bends upward and growth becomes exponential. That is why I do not believe in quick enrichment. I do not believe in get rich in 30 days. I believe in consistently building assets over time. I believe in participating in repeated actions, doing the same right things repeatedly until they produce extraordinary results. My marriage to Mr. Millionaire? It is a long-term investment. My appearance? Long-term investment. My reputation? Long-term investment. My businesses? You already understood. The difference between amateurs and professionals is that amateurs give up when they do not see immediate results. Professionals know it is just a matter of time. 10. Choose your partners intelligently. Whether a business partner or husband, choose someone with 3 qualities: integrity, intelligence, and energy. If he is ugly but has these qualities and money, give him a chance. If he is ugly, poor, and still cheats on you, darling, let that be a lesson. Ugly boys, stop cheating. We only give you a chance because we want peace. If you also give us headaches, there is no advantage. Stop. It is advice that I give for free to women and to men. For business, the rule is the same. I prefer to work with someone who has integrity and less experience than with an expert without character. Skills can be learned, but character is much harder to change. If I realize I cannot trust someone, that person is immediately on my bye-bye babies list. Choosing the right partner, whether for love or for business, is probably the most important decision you will make. It will determine your social circle, your stress level, your opportunities, your growth. So do not rush. A man may not choose a woman just for her beauty, but that certainly counts a lot. I, for example, do not choose a man just for the money he has, but it helps. It helps a lot. 11. Run away from skeptics and pessimists. This will not work, yo. It is too risky. Nobody succeeds. These phrases are the national anthem of poor people. Stay away from those who limit your dreams. I do not let poor energy anywhere near my Hermes bag closet. Pessimists love to say they are realists. Lie. They are just people without imagination, without courage, and often without talent. They tried, failed, and now they want everyone to fail together so they do not feel so bad. Have you noticed that? Rich people rarely say this is impossible, they say, how can we make this happen? It is a subtle difference, but fundamental. One mindset looks for obstacles, the other looks for solutions. I do not partner with skeptics and pessimists. Their beliefs only bring satisfaction to themselves. It is the perverse pleasure of saying, I told you so, when something goes wrong. I prefer to surround myself with realistic dreamers, people who have big visions, but also know how to execute them. 12. Understand that you deserve to be rich. God created Eve from Adam's rib, not from the cheapest bone in the body. He chose premium. You should too. Being poor is not humility, it is lack of vision. Many women have a complicated relationship with money and success. They were taught to be nice, modest, not to ask for too much. This cultural conditioning is one of the biggest traps to keep you poor. When Jesus said, "It is easier for a camel to go through the eye of a needle than for a rich person to enter the kingdom of God," he certainly was not talking about rich women. After all, every queen deserves a crown, whether on earth or in heaven. Intelligent woman is self-interested, because being self-interested is accepting what you deserve. You are born to have the best, and you cannot be with someone who does not give you the minimum. This is not just a relationship philosophy. It is a life philosophy. Demand the best in all areas: career, friendships, environment, education. Why? Because you deserve it. 13. Learn to use leverage. Capital, people, technology, and media. These are your levers. Use them to multiply your results. A video can reach millions while you sleep. Software runs 24/7. Mr. Millionaire taught me this even before our first dinner. Give me a lever long enough and a fulcrum, and I will move the world. This is not just a beautiful phrase from Archimedes. It is the essence of wealth creation. Fortunes require leverage. Without leverage, you are limited to the direct exchange of your time for money. And there is a limit to how much time you have. Traditional leverages, capital and labor, require permission. You need someone to invest in you or work for you. But modern leverages, programming and media, do not require permission from anyone. You do not need to be a programmer to use technology as leverage. Use tools already created. Automate your business. Create systems that work without you. And media, it is my favorite leverage. This video, for example, will work for me for years, attracting followers, establishing my authority, generating revenue. All this while I am busy doing something much more interesting, like choosing the destination for my next international trip. 14. Work intensely, but on what matters. Do not confuse movement with progress. Work hard, yes, but on high-value activities. My routine? I only wake up at 10 a.m. because I work with intelligence, not with desperation. I need to wake up early at 10 a.m. to go to the gym. This is not laziness, it is prioritization. Work as much as you can, but on the right things. Movement is not achievement. Being busy does not mean being productive. On average, people spend 80% of their time on tasks that generate only 20% of the results. The rich do the opposite. They focus 80% of their time on activities that generate 80% of the results. It is the difference between efficiency, doing many things, and effectiveness, doing the right things. And working on Thursday is only if I were greedy. Monday is the new Friday. Sad Tuesdays is the day I pretend to work. It is not about working less. It is about working better. Identify your high-value activities. In my case, they are creating premium content, cultivating strategic relationships, studying market trends, and keeping my millionaire husband happy, which, let us agree, is also high-value work. 15. Define the value of your hour. If something costs less to outsource than the value of your hour, outsource it. Do you think I wash my own champagne glass? Please. One of the first lessons I learned from Mr. Millionaire was to calculate the value of my hour. If I can earn $500 per hour creating content, why would I spend that same hour cleaning my house for $20? This is not just basic math, it is rich math. Define an ambitious value for your working hour. If solving a problem will generate less savings than the stipulated value, ignore it or delegate it. This is how the rich think. They do not save time to work more. They save time to do only what really matters. That is why I have assistants, a driver, personal stylist, personal trainer, private chef, and an entire team taking care of parts of my business that do not exclusively depend on my talent. It is not luxury, it is strategy. Okay, it is also luxury, and I love it. 18. Think long-term. Choose a sector where you can work for decades. The internet is not going to end. Education has existed since before Christ. The sophists were already selling knowledge, darling. Think where you want to be in 20 years, not next weekend. And the secret to success is waking up early. Or not. The real secret is thinking beyond the immediate horizon. Most people plan for the next month. Some plan for the next year. The rich plan for the next decades and even for the next generations. Choose a sector in which you can work long-term with people who think long-term. I chose lifestyle and finance because they are eternal areas. People will always want to live well and have money for it. It is a market that will not end anytime soon. Long-term thinking also applies to relationships. When I met Mr. Millionaire, I did not just think about what he could give me at that moment. I thought about his potential, his connections, the empire we were building together. It was a long-term investment and one that continues to yield very well, thank you. 19. Build your name as a brand. Why do you think I am Duchess Dollars and not Jane Smith? Your image is everything. Build a reputation, a style, something that people recognize from miles away. My name is already worth more than many companies out there. Look at the most financially successful celebrities. They transformed their names into brands. Therefore, they are not only paid for their work, but also for licensing, partnerships, products. Your personal brand is not just your name or logo. It is the promise you make to the world. It is how people feel when they think of you. My brand, glamour, irreverence, financial wisdom, and a life that you wish to have. Each video, each photo, each public appearance reinforces this brand. I have an inflated ego. Yes, but I also have enough self-knowledge to know that my ego is part of my brand. What kind of promise does your brand make to the world? What feeling do you want people to have when they think of you? 20. Always study, but do more. Reading is faster than listening in terms of learning. Doing is faster than watching. Do not become an eternal consumer of content without action. My library is impressive, but my portfolio of achievements is even more so. As Jorge Luis Borges says, to understand a book, you need to read many books. The more you learn, the more you can learn from the next book. Knowledge accumulates and multiplies, like compound interest. But knowledge without action is just intellectual entertainment. You can read 100 books about how to swim, but until you get in the water, you do not know how to swim. You do not learn to make videos by watching other creators. You learn by making your own videos, making mistakes, adjusting, improving. I only accept financial advice from someone who has more money than me. I only accept relationship advice from from someone who has the relationship I want. And I only accept career advice from someone who has already reached where I want to go. And do you know how these people got there? By doing, not just studying. 21. Cultivate valuable relationships. I am not Elon Musk's best friend for nothing. Do not tell Mr. Millionaire about my crush on him. Relationships are the most valuable currency. Cultivate them with intentionality. Your net worth is often directly proportional to the value of your network. Think about the opportunities that arise when you know the right people. Exclusive businesses, privileged information, doors that magically open. That is why rich people attend very expensive charity events. It is not just to show off jewelry, but to be in the same environment as other rich and powerful people. It is an investment, not an expense. The rate of return on a strategic relationship can be much higher than that of any stock on the exchange. I am millisexual because I am only attracted to those who are millionaires. This is not about shallow materialism. It is about understanding the power of connecting with people who have resources, knowledge, and influence. You are the average of the 5 people with whom you spend the most time. Choose wisely. 22. Stop splitting bills. Are you doing charity, my love? Splitting the bill? What is happening? If you get used to paying half, you will never demand the whole. Elevation of standards begins with small decisions. God save me from a man with an economy car. This is not about the brand or model of the car. It is about mindset. A man who is content with the basics will probably offer the basics to you too. When you split the bill on the first date, you are establishing a dangerous precedent. You are saying, I am satisfied with the minimum. And believe me, people treat you according to their own expectations. Our love language is money. Maybe it is a simplification, but there is a truth there. Money represents value, time, effort. When someone invests in you, whether in a dinner, a gift, or a future together, they are demonstrating how much value they attribute to your presence in their life. 23. Understand that luxury is not vanity. It is quality of life. Conscious materialism is a form of self-care. I do not buy a Hermes bag because I am shallow. I buy it because I understand value, durability, and investment. It is a quality of life strategy, not consumerism. There are people who say I am materialistic. I prefer the term quality of life strategist. After all, God created the material universe in 6 days. Clearly, he values material things. If we were meant to live like monks, we would have been born with tunics. There is a difference between empty consumerism and appreciation for excellence. True luxury products are not just for ostentation. They are functional works of art, made with the best materials, by the best talent, with the best technique. They last generations and often appreciate in value over time. Invest in the stock market or in a Hermes bag. It is not a joke. Many Hermes bags have appreciated more in the last 10 years than many stocks. The difference? You cannot use your stocks to impress at dinner with the CEO who can change your life. 24. Have a language of abundance. I cannot. It is too expensive. Maybe someday. These phrases attract scarcity. Change your vocabulary to when I will succeed. I am investing. It is just a matter of time. The Bible says, ask and you shall receive. But they forgot to tell you that you should ask big. The words you use shape your reality. When you say, I cannot afford this, your brain accepts this limitation as truth and stops looking for solutions. When you say, how can I afford this? Your brain becomes a possibility-seeking machine. I do not know about you, but I never understood this talk of money does not bring happiness. Obviously, whoever invented this never had enough money to verify the theory. The language of scarcity was created to keep people content with little. Have you ever tried to explain to someone the concept of credit card limit? I also do not understand. Limit is for those who accept less than they deserve. Your financial vocabulary says a lot about your financial beliefs. Eliminate phrases like, I cannot, too expensive, maybe someday. Replace with, I am prioritizing. Other investments now are, what is the return on this value? I am working to achieve this soon. 25. Learn to manage people and processes. Selling is the beginning, but building and maintaining is what separates a stroke of luck from a lasting fortune. You need to learn to manage people, even if they are just your clients, and create processes that work without you. Learn to sell and learn to build. If you know how to do both, no one will be able to stop you. Selling is getting the client. Building is keeping them and growing through them. Most people focus so much on getting new clients that they forget it is much cheaper and more profitable to keep the ones they already have. Managing people does not necessarily mean having employees. It can be managing suppliers, partners, clients, followers. It is understanding psychology, communication, expectations, incentives, and managing processes. It is creating systems that work without your constant intervention. The goal is to build a machine that generates wealth even when you are not actively working on it. This requires long-term vision, willingness to invest in infrastructure, and the courage to delegate what does not need to be done exclusively by you. 26. Be smart in relationships. Do not sacrifice yourself for love when you can have love and money. I am millisexual. I am only attracted to millionaires. It is not being self-interested, it is recognizing that I deserve the best in all aspects of life. A poor boyfriend only gives you headaches and cheats on you. It may seem cruel, but there is a truth there. Relationships with large financial disparities rarely work. Not because money is more important than love, but because values, lifestyle, and expectations tend to be very different. Stop thinking you need a man to be happy. We only need money and new clothes. Financial independence should come before any relationship. When you depend financially on someone, your decisions are limited and your negotiating power is almost zero. He was ugly. You decided to give him a chance, and now he acts as if he were handsome. Let that be a lesson. This is not about physical appearance. It is about perceived value. When you sell yourself cheap, people treat you like a cheap commodity. When you value yourself, people respect that value. 27. Understand that true wealth goes beyond money. When you finally become rich, you will realize that it was not just money you were seeking. It was freedom, impact, meaning. Money is just the means, not the end. But do not worry, it is a very pleasant means. The choice is yours. You can continue living like a poor person, splitting the bill, putting water in your shampoo, and dreaming small. Or you can follow these tips and start working like a future millionaire. If you liked this video and want more advice to leave the Club of the Poor, leave your like, subscribe to the channel, and activate the bell. I left in the first pinned comment several links to products worthy of a queen like you. Comment below. Rich now. If you are ready for this transformation, remember, you were born to have the best. And if you were not born rich like me, well, it is not too late to correct that small error of destiny. This is Duchess Dollars, and until the CEI. Next video. Monday is the new Friday, darlings.